Hello everyone, and welcome to session 91 of Pokerole. We've been having a few chill sessions as of late. I imagine this will also be kind of a chill session. It is also worth noting that we will not be having a session in 2 more weeks from now because Kyrio will be going on vacation, so there will be a delay before session 92, so I hope you guys enjoyed 91 while it's here, and 92 will return in a month. But that being said, before we do our intro, I will do the rest of my intro, which means, of course, that if you like the video, do think about giving it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that as well. But if you really want to help out, come over to Twitch. We're trying to reach partner over here, but we always need more viewers to reach that goal. So if you want to come by, whether it's to lurk or to talk, think about doing so. It really does help out. Even if you're mostly a YouTube watcher, if you come by the Twitch, it really does help out the channel as a whole, including the YouTube side of things, so please consider doing so. We also have a pretty cool Discord community if you want to check that out, and you can also access our Pokerole Discord community off of that. I also have a Ko-fi link if you want to help directly monetize my content, and if you want to monetize me and also get something for it, check out the Streamlabs merch store I have. A new link there that you can also check out for a bunch of cool items involving Chattoxes and possibly some Pokerole memorabilia in the future if the shop does well enough. So go buy if you want Pokerole stuff to show up. But all links are in the description, so you can check them out at your leisure. Also, of course, we also have a Pokerole wiki that you can check out of this link, and you can help work on it if you want. With that being said, I feel like my voice wants to constantly crack. I think I'm a little under the weather today, but that's alright. But anyways, I will turn it over to Car for a recap.
Yes, welcome everyone. I say as I pause my mic in order to cough.
Maybe I'm not the only one.
Yep. It was said earlier, but also on the stream we do have a little Poke community that people have been enjoying a lot, and I've been watching people enjoy it because I can't afford to get addicted to something like that. Especially not when I have to run sessions. So, last time we started off, and on the wiki, by the way, this is very appropriately titled, Ralph's Big Day. We started off with Ralph going to the Cave of Mirrors with Zeal. Mostly because Zeal could lead him there no problem. And he ends up meeting with Kamo, who is not looking the greatest in the wake of whatever punishment or adverse effect he has received for having interfered with what happened with Tiber of what is now months ago. Months is in plural. But he directs Hakamo, took me a second, and Zeal to go to Hakamo's room for a while he takes care of official business and brings Ralph to his mirror. And Ralph begins his trial and finds himself in this sort of luxurious, if dimly lit banquet hall, addressed by this very large being that urges Ralph to partake of the banquet, to partake of his hunger, to sate it. And Ralph refuses, because one of the things he's been wanting, one of the things he's been fighting against this whole time, has been his hunger. And enraged, this creature sloughs off its disguise, revealing itself to be the gaunt and ever-hungry Preda, a representation of hunger and of the desire to devour and consume. And after a lengthy and environmentally destructive battle, not like it matters, it's fine, it's the Mirror Realm, Ralph tops it off with one of the best ironies and consumes the consumer. After which, Ralph speaks with, or at the very least, is addressed by, another mysterious entity that doesn't quite show itself. Several mirrors popping up before him, revealing options. Rather than merely shifting or changing and evolving, Ralph chooses how he evolves, how he changes. He would give everything, and so the choice is his. When he awakens outside the mirror, he has changed. Not into a regular Snorlax, but into a variant of sorts. A bit leaner, not necessarily so rotund, a purple hue to his fur, and an innate psychic typing. Also, I realized Ralph got 4 more type choices for his metronome, and we did not discuss those in between sessions, and that's my fault.
Didn't discuss which ones.
It's fine.
Maybe you already thought of which ones he wants.
I believe I put them in. I can't see because my thing is
Oh, it's doing that.
Oh, I see. You put them there. I have been putting in the description of metronome what you've got. Okay, well, I will fix that shortly after I'm done. Nice. Ice, Rock, Steel, Fire, Dragon, and Fighting. That is a bevy. A veritable feast of types.
Yeah.
But, back in Savant Town, Brooke has been busying himself building a forge as directed by Blaze the Quartermaster. Since the Charizard is willing to help actually forge his Glalie Horn into a knife, he needs Brooke to go through the effort to actually make a facility that Savant Town doesn't have, which may help ingratiate the team into the town even more, whether or not Brooke has realized this. So, something about Blaze being smart and using something that someone wants in order to benefit others. That said, Brooke also receives aid from the Mute Squirtle, who will of course help their big brother. They are now a big, strong Poke Pioneer in training. Yes. They even have the little scarf to prove it.
Adorable.
They are. Meanwhile, at around the 5th day in the week, Tucker's egg hatches. And as I explained last session, the Pokemon it hatched into was decided on a random dice roll out of a list that I had.
It was random.
Yes, I promise you it was random. And I know there are people who aren't going to believe that, even now. But what comes out is a prehistoric question mark Poochyena pup that has saber teeth and is striking. And has had plenty of adorable and wonderful art made of it.
Including from Kyrio, who surprised me. I didn't expect Kyrio to draw the pup.
This might be like a year later.
Yeah, I'm thinking like slightly older, but yeah, totally gets the look across.
Yes, that would definitely be older. Like, also, they still have big pubs. They have much growing to do. And I didn't know this before, but now that I thought about it, because I actually do know kind of how that's how it works. But yeah, Puppy has very big paws.
It also has, as Kyrio made sure to note here, it has a more of a, what's the word for it? Just more of a wild shape, basically.
Posture, like feral, strong shoulders.
You can see it in the backbone and such.
I'm sure
Yeah, a lot of
there's
muscle mass in the
I'm
shoulder.
sure there's a name for that kind of spinal formation. Because I don't want to call it like humpbacked or hunchback because
Yeah, that's not quite it. There's a particular word I can't think of.
Well, the thing is, like, for alligator also kind of gets that.
I used like a hyena as reference. So
Yeah.
more
Yes.
like a puppy.
And I double check to make sure everything is kosher on the wiki. Because the
Kosher.
wiki is notes.
I just realized I might as well just have a separate card.
But yes, Tucker left Puppy with Blizzard to go get milk from Miltank, which I believe Tucker was able to do, but that's also sort of where we ended it. Also, during the week while Ralph is gone, Florence and Noibat returned from Sea Spray. Florence busied himself a bit with Riley, so he kind of invited himself into the base to help Riley make his instrument. So there's a music practice that's going to be going on in the base. So, yeah, you have bass music.
How pleasant is that music going to be, I wonder, for practice? Like,
I mean, Florence's, it's going to be
Music
great.
with 2 S's?
well, Florence's in would be great. I just wonder how talented Riley will be at first.
Look, Florence can make nice bass noises, okay?
I'm all about that.
Nice bass in our bass? Okay.
Yeah.
Your bass has bass.
I'm all about that bass.
I would say that Riley's is not
Not
great
like
to
this.
start, but I mean, the other thing is, this is something that is helping Riley, and he's gonna start picking it up fairly quickly. If it's not, even though it's not gonna always be pleasant. Though I did mention specifically that I believe it was Tucker, because he saw while he was going out to get milk from Miltank, he did spy Noibat and noted that they were not the happiest looking.
Yes, I vaguely remember this.
And that's kind of where we left off. But with permission from the players, I would like to start with Ralph.
Wait, what?
Mostly because I don't know if Ralph has any conversation he wants to have with Kamo before he comes back to town.
This is
And-
fair. Yeah.
And probably drags Zeal with him, much to Zeal's chagrin, because it's friend playtime.
I have only one question. What was the status of Ice Fang again? Because I know I have this card, but it's not on my sheet.
Oh, you guys trained and I believe you learned it. I got rid of
Did
it
I
on
properly?
your sheet. Yeah, I made that
you
for you,
completed
and I guess it just didn't get put on the list.
Okay.
I think I mentioned it and showed you, and it just didn't get dragged down.
Okay, I didn't get the official word I learned it, so I didn't put it on the sheet. I think it was. Alright, I shall officially put it on my sheet then. Wow, I've got quite a variety going here. Finally. Finally some variety started up.
Also, to answer what Beerus asked in our own chat, yes, that is Jigglypuff as viewed from above. No, wait, it's Electrode, I'm sorry. Anybody who gets that reference is officially old by Pokemon standards. Also, hello, Sith's wife.
Hello. Hello, people.
So,
So,
but I,
alright, so I'm fully aware that I have the psychic typing, right?
yes, you are aware of what you have gained typing-wise, even if you are not necessarily aware of all the new abilities that come with it. And that's at least in part consequence of you having one instinct.
I
Logically, you would
metronome.
Sorry.
I just was trying to say that I updated the metronome on that note.
Oh, thank you. Again, sorry for the talking.
Oh, it's okay.
Anyway, but logically, you understand some basic abilities that psychic types usually have. It's just a matter of figuring out how that works and if you have any of them. The one downside of being high logic, low instinct. But you do also... The one thing you do innately understand is that your ability to command metronome has expanded greatly. Becoming part psychic has expanded your mental capacities.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go out and show our new form to Kamo and take a look at ourselves in the mirror, being all awake and stuff.
You look at yourself in the mirror, and you see two other beings there. Actually, three. Standing beside yourself, which, how tall is Snorlax? Snorlax are taller than people.
I think we positioned Ralph's model, Snorlax model. Well, it may not look quite correct. It is the correct height, I believe.
Okay, yeah, like Snorlax are generally...
I kind of positioned it against Brooke.
Yeah.
I made it to where I think I'll be still a smidge taller when he goes into Feraligatr. Like, if the Feraligatr were to stand up straight, or not Feraligatr.
I'm mostly asking
one.
this
No,
because...
Feraligatr is the third one, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Mostly asking this because one of the beings in the mirror is your human self, and it's like, wait, how do I describe your human self in relation?
Probably shorter than this one.
Okay. Your human self, slightly shorter than you are, which is probably a weird thing to see.
Yeah.
But...
Much skinnier.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, your current figure is healthy.
Yeah. As I will slap my belly. Huh. I guess Brooke's not the chonkiest anymore.
But behind you hovers, strangely enough, Preda for but a moment. It doesn't seem menacing any longer. It's simply there. And it raises one of its skeletal fingers to where its lips would be if it had any on its flaming head. And it fades away. And in its place, silhouetting yourself and yourself, is the tree probability.
Mm-hmm.
It says nothing, but its glow almost seems to imply a tacit approval.
Well, Mr. Tree, I've chosen this path. Was it the right one? Was it the optimal one? Who knows, but it's the one I got.
The only thing that matters is choice. From choice, more choice is born. More consequence and effect. The ever-branching and infinite path.
I pulled up the old tree art, too.
Well, thank you.
It's really cool.
Though perhaps you should stop wasting time here. If you stand still long enough, all the paths will converge into one. And then your human self speaks up, and it sort of echoes in your mind, and it takes you a minute, but you realize that probability is using your human voice to chide you. So maybe don't starve after learning how to control your hunger.
Right. I love food too much to starve. Controlling hunger or not. And I'll go to shake Hakamo's hand.
You find Hakamo in the central chamber. He's looking the same as you found him. Both... I'm sorry. Did I say Hakamo? You found Kamo in the central chamber. Derp. But Hakamo and Zeal are there, and Hakamo is trying to get Zeal to help apply some sort of moss and balm to his father, and Zeal is most unhelpful, but he is trying.
How's it going, you two? Yeah, as you can see, I'm all grown up now.
Ah,
A little bit grown out.
I see. I am glad for your success. Dad, you really should stop trying to talk with... Oh my gosh, you got big! As Hakamo looks over and sees Ralph, and Zeal's got the wide saucer eyes and like, I could ride you!
Yeah, I suppose you could. And of course I got big. I was a munchlax. What, you think I was gonna turn into a... I don't know, a Diglett?
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen a Snorlax before. You're huge! As Zeal starts running circles around you until Hakamo grabs them by the tail to get them to stop.
Yeah, what's crazy is, and I'm looking down at my... This is one of the smaller Snorlaxes I've ever seen.
I must agree. Though admittedly I also have seen very few. I am pleased that you have gotten what you wanted. A moment, if you will. And he sort of moves away, lumbering and clanging through the cave to another chamber. And when he returns, he's brought with him the remains of a stasis box. I believe you will have use for these. I'm afraid that my mind is not like yours.
Yeah, I'll certainly give it a look, see what it's all about.
I am certain you already know, considering you bore one not long ago with your friends.
Yeah. I did understand what it was and even how it works. So yeah.
Hakamo.
But
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, but yeah, I shouldn't idle around here too long. Not good to keep the team separated for a long time.
I'm sure they're doing just fine without us. But we should probably go because they totally need our help all the time.
I hope not all the time, but I hope often.
We are the glue that will stick them together! Hakamo facepalms. That's not... Sure, Zeal, sure.
You can be the glue and I can be the pressure that puts on top, so it's like you hold it in place.
We're like a sandwich! Also, I'm hungry. Kamo laughs. As I was going to say, Akamo, perhaps you could bring the prepared travel stuffs to your friends. After all, they must be going. I'm sure you will have plenty of time with Zeal another day. So long as you sit down. Every time you move without the bomb on, it gets worse. I'll have you know I am recovering just fine, you little brat. Yeah. As Hakamo just walks off. And he comes back with a rather large bag of travel food and presents it to you.
we'll put it on one shoulder, and heck, we'll invite Zeal to hop on the other. They'll be like a pair.
Zeal gets sparkly eyes again and hops onto your shoulder, though Hakamo just sort of politely declines. Hopefully we'll see your friends soon enough.
Yeah. I know Brooke's keen on becoming a for alligator someday. Tucker's probably a bit more hesitant, and Riley since decided to hang up his adventuring boots and take care of Richard at the base.
I am not surprised by these predicaments, but I would also not be surprised should they change. Just know that you all are welcome here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they changed either. Time's funny, like.
Indeed.
It's like sometimes things change, and then sometimes that change is things changing back. And then you don't really know what's permanent or not. Anywho, we better get going.
Take your time and take care, Ralph. After all, sometimes when things change, it's not for the better. And I can feel that there are things brewing on the horizon. But I trust you and your friends will know what to do, should you come across anything adverse.
Bring it on. I know what to do, alright. I punch one fist into the other palm. I'm gonna be all like, cowabunga it is.
Kamo gives you a knowing smile and gives you a firm handshake before you leave.
Excellent. And I shall lumber off into the distance
Zeal
as I
is...
get my new body.
Sorry. I keep talking over people, I'm sorry.
That is fine.
Zeal is pleased with his new perch. He may or may not do the cat thing and, knead into your shoulder as he lays on it and gets comfy. That said, you begin your journey back to Savant Town, which leads us back to the others. I know that Kyrio is away for a second. Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
There is one day between the egg hatching and Ralph being able to return.
Welcome
back,
back,
Kyrio.
Ralph said his goodbyes to Kamo, and Zeal's perching on his shoulder as they go. And we just switch back to Savant.
Yes.
Just update him.
There is a day between egg hatching and Ralph returning. And Florence has returned, and Noibat is back, and there's a new puppy.
And Tucker's entire attention that day will probably be entirely on Puppy. He may not be able to run the daycare that day, or somebody else may in the base could take over if they wanted to for that day. But he has somebody to focus on right now. Specifically, Tucker is doting on the puppy like a mix of a mom and a dad to the little pup. And it's notable that Tucker is actually quite a bit more exuding that feral energy that he's had before. Not completely to the point where he's lost the sentient side like he has a few times, where that's been tucked away completely. But he is very, very, very much more kind of talking in growls and yips and kind of just communicating with Puppy that way and emoting with Puppy that way. And of course, Puppy presumably isn't really speaking poke speech at this point.
No. They growl, they yip, they make small adorable noises. They also follow you around incessantly, no matter where you go. And that does mean that Brooke has to suffer the puppy, curiously sniffing and even, like, attempting to nibble at everything. In fact, everybody kind of has to deal with it, and they mostly deal with it. There is at least one point where Lizard has their tail chomped on, and they have to bring the puppy back to Tucker with a very stern look.
Tucker does kind of help keep Puppy in a little bit more of a line, but yes, this puppy is very nibbly. It is a wild and somewhat prehistoric puppy, so they can get into some trouble even at that, even a day old. Tucker does kind of give them a little bit of training, though. Pokemon grow fast, and thus he's kind of helping the puppy learn how to do basic things, you know, move around and how to, you know, feed themselves and such like that. If anybody, just like say Brooke, decides to try to interact with Tucker, Brooke would probably be the best to do it right now, because Brooke's the one that has had interactions with Tucker in a more feral state, which is kind of how it is right now.
Right. I might just type things out because I'm not feeling great.
That's completely fair.
Talking.
Okay.
Completely fair. While you do that, too, I will say, one thing that I found a little depressing. First off, I hope Kamo is okay, but I don't know if he will be. Secondly, you know, the coffee you do for him, what made me sad was I realized I'm actually doing legit coughing like that. I tend to mute it, but I've been doing that here and there for a few days. Like right now. Just did that again.
Also, word is going to travel very, very quickly around Savant Town, whether you like it or not, Tucker.
Because of Puppy.
Yes, since I can fill the void vaguely for this moment while Kyrio does typing for Brooke stuff. So, yes. The town is going to know. And to be fair, Savant Town is kind of a small town where when stuff like this happens, everybody knows.
Yeah, this is fair. Tucker would probably keep the puppy somewhat sheltered in the base for that day, but not entirely. There would probably be a little bit of going out and about for, like, you know, just kind of getting them used to the environment more. This would also mean that a fair bit of Savant Town may also notice that Tucker is acting rather more like a feral, actually. A feral Pokemon. Might raise some eyebrows even, I'm not sure. Thinking about it, Tucker has had a few feral moments in public, but not really anything too large or noticeable before this. It's only a state that's come on occasionally.
I mean, if you do end up going out at any point during, you know, the hatching day with Puppy, or, you know, the next day, you may need to warn Pokemon from trying to give pets to Puppy. Because the way the little Puchiena figure out what things are is bite.
Bite.
Bite everything. Give bite and nibble and chomp.
Tucker would actually probably, non-aggressively, but still kind of distinctly body block Puppy from being able to bite people, or for people being able to pet Puppy. Actually, Tucker is rather protective of Puppy. Not aggressively so, but very, very distinctly so.
Hey Tucker, how's babysit? Yeah, sorry. Wow, I fucked. Dang it.
Words are difficult.
Yes, they are. Hey Tucker, how's puppy sitting going? Brooke asks. He wiggles a finger at the pup. Puppy will attempt to nip at finger.
Tucker just gives a excitable bark with a bit of a tail wiggle. He does kind of slightly block the puppy, but Brooke's the one that he probably does really, really trust, even in his feral state. So he does allow the interaction. So this potential nip is possible. Puppies bite probably at this point isn't super dangerous, but probably would still hurt if he bit hard. Because, I mean, Puccias start with teeth, so...
So, kittens have sickles on their hands. Puppies have needles in their mouth. Okay?
Basically. It's a good equivalent. Same danger levels as a kitten.
That said, the mute squirrel has also been hanging around a lot more, and they're currently half hiding behind Brooke, looking at small puppy.
So Tucker's thing, if the puppy gets too rambunctious, Tucker's thing is he's just gonna always nip the nape of the pup's neck to pull him back, or basically get him to relax. Because much like it works for other dogs and cats, a nip on the nape of the neck basically is a pacifying thing for an animal like that, and basically causes them to go limp and stop what they're doing. So Tucker can still stop the nippy puppy from nipping, fortunately.
Brooke doesn't flinch if the puppy ends up biting him, which it does. It's just like a nip on the tip of your finger. The puppy has a basic understanding of Brooke is big thing. Think about naming him yet? Actually, is it a him or a her? Have you checked?
Tucker kind of cocks his head and seems to ponder that for a bit. He gives the puppy a few sniffs. He probably has figured out by now, but I don't, as a player, know yet what the gender of this puppy is.
Tucker would have figured it out by now. You may choose, or you can just leave it up to chance, and I'll do the same thing I do with Lizard.
Let's leave it up to chance.
Cool. I'll do the same thing we do with Lizard.
The pup species was, so...
It is puppy until named. And, I will eventually give them a voice, I suppose.
Okay. In due time, obviously. That's probably not anytime soon. But, also... I mean, I might voice it too. I've been trying to think about that one, actually.
They are Tucker's puppy, effectively speaking. So if you want to give them a voice, that's fine.
I was actually debating how much NPC control should go to me or to you. That is something we could probably just talk about later, though, too.
Yep. For now, NPC control is squarely in sort of like my box because it's puppy.
Yes.
They are not much of an agent at the moment.
Very true. So I would say, so how do we determine it? Is it a coin flip or something? Well, not the coins work well in TTS, but...
Oh, no, just we are not going to disclose any form of gender.
Okay.
Like
Tucker,
I said, gonna treat it like Lizard.
Alright then. Oh, straight up, I gotcha. Tucker will, kind of give a little bit of a canid shrug and just kind of express... Like, it doesn't really matter that much. The answer seems almost to be to Brooke, if he can read it correctly, is the puppy is a puppy. And that's all that matters to Tucker. Liam, since you're new here, Pokerole is pretty watchable in the background, or rather, you could generally listen to this like a podcast.
Also, someone asked how Rise has reacted.
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know if Tucker has gone to see Rise yet.
So Tucker has been outside, like I said, but I don't mean on big excursions. Basically, staying pretty close to the base, or in Tucker's more feral mindset, territory. So removing Puppy from territory is not really in Tucker's mind right now. That's a good idea.
Oh, I should side note that because Brooke expressed an interest with it at some point, Mute Squirtle is teaching Brooke sign language.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Because I believe at one point I did mention that the Squirtle had learned sign language.
Yeah. Brooke is definitely enthusiastic, if clumsy with it.
Yep. It also makes it easier for communication instead of the general pantomiming they have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it doesn't matter much, Brooke says with a chuckle. I guess we'll go with Puppy for now.
Is Brooke at all phased or surprised by Tucker going into a feral state at this point? Probably not, knowing Brooke at this point. Brooke kind of goes with the flow in the first place, and he's not exactly unused to Tucker in this state.
Brooke isn't surprised, though he doesn't fully understand you in this state.
No.
I guess you could have said that out loud.
I guess so. That's fine.
Oops.
Quotation.
So,
It's just easier to get my thoughts on the screen.
It does raise a... yeah, I kind of feel like feral Pokemon do kind of get each other in a feral Pokemon kind of way, because understand the emotion, the emoting of you know, the sounds and such that they make rather than words. But I'm guessing a Pokemon more used to speech probably wouldn't be able to pick up on that quite as easily, since that's not really what they focused on kind of understanding. Still, though, Tucker is equally as emotive as he always is, so he's still somewhat readable. The Puppy, on the other hand, the Puppy is a puppy, so the mood could just... The mood is energetic and nippy, in this case, I would assume.
yes.
And,
Puppy has tons of energy, which is good for you. And, you know, not so good for Pangoro, who may or may not be pointedly avoiding coming to your base right now.
that is actually part of the reason that Tucker is also not doing daycare this day, because the Puppy is probably nippy enough that he could cause problems at the daycare. He, she, it.
Yeah. Look, if we have pronouns we default to, that's fine. Just, it's like with Lizard. We understand that they are... Lizard is lizard, puppy is puppy. You want to say hi, Squirtle? Brooke asks. Don't worry, they won't bite you. Mostly because Tucker won't let you get close enough.
Tucker looks slightly sheepish at this. He's actually letting Brooke get close enough, but only Brooke, really.
Squirtle gives Brooke an okay, and just sort of scoots out from behind the Croconaw and gives a little wave to the puppy that regards Squirtle quite curiously and is doing the sniffing thing and sort of eagerly trying to get around or under Tucker in order to do the explorative nibble thing.
Tucker steps awkwardly, kind of blocking the puppy from getting too close. Kind of using his belly to keep the puppy at bay.
It doesn't help they also, like, fumble and trip over their big paws.
Oh, sorry about that. I knocked something over and spilled something while I was out.
Oh,
Well,
didn't know you stepped
yeah.
away.
Yeah, I took the dog out, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a drink, and then trying to hurry, I spilled it. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, sorry. We spent this whole time never giving Squirtle models. I'm gonna finally give Squirtle a model.
Oh, can you promote me when you get the chance?
Sure. I do have some slight bad news though as I do this. So the models map. Oh, the models. Where I get all the 3D Pokemon models at is something that's actually made for another D&D Pokemon D&D thing, and so it's gotten updates occasionally that aren't very helpful. The latest updates have basically merged the bases, so I cannot remove bases anymore. They can still be adjusted in size. It's not the end of the world, but yeah.
I needed to make a card for the forge that's on the left side of the base.
That's fair. Actually, let me make a save, because I'm about to do the same.
Okay, I will continue.
Yeah.
So. Squirtle sort of backs off a bit awkwardly and nervously, and signs to Brooke that they should probably get going, because they have work to do. Because Squirtle has been working with Brooke on the forge. And around that time, Hot Dog comes to the room. I'm assuming you guys aren't in Brooke's office. That you're in the common area. Oh. Yeah, looks like you're doing fine. Let's go see if Blades needs anything else today, Brooke says, signing to Squirtle as he speaks, though Blaze is replaced with something like Grumpy Lizard, which is very appropriate. And Squirtle just smiles and nods. And does the really nervous and awkward holding their arms out and shimmying around both Poochyena before they leave out the door. Meanwhile, Hot Dog comes down. They yawn. Their tail is coiled around a mug of coffee. Where could they have gotten that habit from?
Oh, hey. Look at you, little pup. Now you've got an even littler pup.
Of course, being the Houndoom, he just sort of leans over and pokes his face at the puppy.
Aren't you a little chump?
Tucker sounds concerned.
His tired but amused expression slowly slides into a deadpan one.
Okay. You can have him back now.
Tucker reaches up to grab the puppy's nape, which fortunately is one way to unlock those jaws.
Puppy gingerly lets go. There is a bite mark on Hot Dog's muzzle.
Yep. Okay, too early to play Uncle Hot Dog. Got it.
Just walks out the door, downing the entire cup of what must be scalding hot coffee.
Uncle Hot Dog, that's cool.
Hot Dog can't catch a break.
I'm not old enough to be an uncle!
You hear him shouting.
Would have assumed Hot Dog would know better. Well, see, that's the thing. Tucker actually might be a little more charitable towards interactions of other canines to the puppy because, well, canine synergy. But of course, a Houndoom is not a Poochyena, so there is a bit of a difference there. One would presume Houndours are slightly less nippy as a puppy, but I mean they're still dark types, so I imagine they're still nippy somewhat. But
well, Poochyena specifically are very nippy.
Yeah, and this is an odd variant too, an older one, which might be even more nippy than normal Poochyena.
Yes. Let's just say, over the course of the past day and a half, a lot of your things have been chewed on. Like, a lot, you may need a few new pillows.
Yeah, Tucker's room probably isn't in the best shape after that, actually.
It's not.
It's a shame. Tucker will attempt to repurpose something tough and chewable that he can give to the puppy, though. Something to give them something to chew on that won't just be destroyed.
Ask Ralph to invent rubber to make a chew toy. Well, you don't have to ask him to invent rubber. Rubber is around. It's just not this widely used thing.
Though I will say that when Tucker does start to understand the pup's destruction, he immediately puts up his dresses somewhere safe.
This is smart. Look, you have enough work to learn from the seamstress. You don't need more. That said, what is Tucker going to do after everyone is left? Because Brooke is going with Squirtle to the Pioneering Club, I assume, in order to chat up Blaze.
Tucker might actually elect to do that goal, actually. If the puppy is just tearing up everything, it might be time to look for something suitable that they can just focus on and not tear up, which might or might not be in the base. I don't think the base really has anything that... Well, let's look at the storage. It's mostly root salves and, yeah, some outfits. A lot of stuff that the puppy shouldn't chew up, like a property deed and an atlas. stuff that is important, and that's why this needs to be put under control a bit. So Tucker might actually go out, even with his semi-feral state. He probably would actually go out with a puppy, bundling them in his little blanket that he also used for the egg. Might be tricky to keep the puppy from leaving the bundle, but the little sling that he puts on his side, but he can still keep.
He sleep a lot, so
true. Perhaps Tucker would pick him.
Just fall asleep.
Maybe Tucker would pick a moment when the puppy's a little more sleepy to do this.
Well, I mean, almost as soon as you get them bundled up, probably with a little help from somebody with hands, because that makes it easier.
Yeah.
They yawn and they pass out.
Good.
Because children can fall asleep anywhere.
And falling asleep against Tucker's warm tummy is a decent place to fall asleep at.
Yes, which gives you ample opportunity to go about outside.
Tucker would head to the market then. He does have a small amount of money. There's got to be something, some sort of chew toy for Pokemon that he can find. So that's what he's going to go look for.
Well, if you go to the Kakuna at some point, they would recommend, one of the rags maybe, and repurpose that into something that the puppy can chew and tear up. Because you did buy, the variety of fabrics.
I feel like Tucker would have offered the rags to the puppy at one point, realizing that the puppy needs to chew. But I feel like the rags wouldn't last very long either.
They would not. They are a minor diversion.
A minor diversion. Yeah, he's looking for something that'll hold up to chewing, but also be interesting to chew. Perhaps something that is scented or something like that.
A rag is generally useful to get puppy to take the moo moo milk.
Actually, yeah, it's kind of, you thinking like sopping it?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a few things around. You find, sticks, of which you can buy bundles of them if you so wish, from one of the gatherers that has a little shop. And of course, there's always the option of spare bones, though those usually tend to be kept for, say, broth.
Actually, is a good point, and somebody brought that up too. Like bones, actually, that is not a bad idea. Like a big bone that that the puppy can't easily chew up would actually be pretty suitable.
All right, well, give me a. Goodness, what would be? I guess Insight Survival Alert, because I don't have a better roll for it, to see if you can find any appropriate bones.
This actually would work with the whole scented thing too. It would actually have some. It would be an appealing item to chew on. So.
Yes, and while you do that.
Oh my god!
No.
I swear, the more dice I have, the worse things go.
Oh no, that's terrible. Yeah, all the bones that you can find are they're small, or they look like they're thin or fragile, and you do not want puppy to be swallowing bone bits.
No. Needs to be said that'll hold up. Also, Tucker isn't fully in a sentient state, so he might be getting looks, he might be getting distracted. He is acting a little unusual. If anybody recognizes him, they'll be noting, like, he's a little off today. Or rather, if they don't know. So yeah, he's probably just having trouble focusing on shopping in that state. So...
I would believe it. So, that's unfortunate. I was hoping you would get a higher roll and find, like, I don't know, a Bouffalant knuckle.
There's plenty of bones inside Pokemon.
Yeah. Though during your shopping trip, the puppy is going to probably wake up at least once or twice and, like, try and lean out or wriggle their way out from the blanket in order to nibble on something.
Tucker will swoosh his fluffy tail to his side to kind of tail block the puppy and kind of pat them back into the little hammock against the side.
Meanwhile, with Brooke and Squirtle, you'll receive a customary morning greeting from Rise, who also has coffee and is holding it in their tail in a very similar manner to Hot Dog. Hot Dog's mug has been refilled. And they are both doing the morning work. And you are offered breakfast, of course, if you have not already had it. But once all that's done, you are easily able to find Blaze in his usual spot. Ah, there are my erstwhile apprentices, he says with more than a little bit of sarcasm and rolling of his eyes. Mostly at his own joke. Right. I'm a little busy. Wow, words. Look, I'm a little busy today in order to help you out. The forge is mostly done, which honestly is pretty impressive. Oh gosh, the sound, I forgot.
That is one benefit to the new models. Even if they're stuck to the base, they all get to make a...
Have the cute noises! Oh wow, and I didn't even notice the tail flame. That's so nice.
Actually, I never noticed that myself.
Forge is mostly done. It's coming down to materials. I'm nothing if not tenacious, Brooke grins. Just let me know what to do and I'll take care of it. Well, let's see here. He just sort of flips his clipboard to another page, which apparently has the checklist of things that he wants/needs for this. Oh, right, we don't even have an anvil. Right, we need an anvil. Well, okay, I said grindstone. That's a bit different. He sort of scratches at his head with his pencil as he looks at the list. Well, I can find the adhesive in the market, or maybe get some out of storage, maybe. I wonder if Pangoro would yell at me for taking some from storage. He squints as he thinks about it. It's mostly the drill, the metal, and the grindstone. And something I actually sort of just thought about. Lowering the clipboard, he looks Brooke over, up and down, and then looks over at Squirtle, mostly down. I'm assuming you're gonna evolve at some point, and even assuming you don't, are you sure you just want a knife?
Fair question. So while we wait for the response to that, I will note that when you mistakenly talked as Blaze and said I'm a Lizzle, I was like, yeah, you're a Sizzle Lizzle, and I bet that's a pet name that Rise has for you.
Look, no one is supposed to know that.
I shall also note, Tucker, in addition to the more active activities, Tucker will also spend time with the pup, sort of like adult dogs do with like puppies, where like the adult dog just is like lounging on the ground, and then the puppy just climbs all over them and like nips them and stuff. Probably, I'm assuming the puppy is probably a lot less aggressively, like a lot more passively nippy with Tucker, given that even the most wild of animals really knows not to bite their parents too hard.
Well, sometimes puppies forget when they're playing.
They
don't forget long, but sometimes they forget. And Tucker receives several reminders of this. Mostly because Puppy has the whole saber teeth going on.
True. Tucker's fur mostly lets him just deal with it, but he probably flinches a few times and probably does like snap towards the puppy and go as bigger dogs sometimes do when puppies go too far, to teach them no.
Yes. Especially when they chew and tug on your ears and your tail and the rest of your fluff. Well, a knife felt like the easiest thing to handle, Burke says. I like working with my hands and teeth, but after meeting the knights, it's hard to deny the advantage of having proper tools. I just thought a knife would be a nice in-between.
Oh, hold on a second, guys. We just vomited frames for a second. Did anybody miss anything?
Oh dear.
Yeah, we just vomited 6,000 frames, I think, all of a sudden. Video lag, not audio. So audio is fine? Alright then.
Okay. Or being... squints at Tubby.
I mean...
Well, that's fair. I can't knock you for having some efficiency. It's just, this is probably not something you'd want to be cooking with. He sort of shrugs. Oh well. And I'm sorry if voices blend together at any point. I know I've said this before. I'm trying. You could probably make a sword out of it, but that's just me. And also everything my old man taught me coming out. Ugh. Grateful old. Anyway. You can probably find a grindstone somewhere else. Getting one made out of a block of stone from a quarry would actually be really nice, but also that's so much work. You'd honestly probably be better off requisitioning it from somewhere else. Or use the local graveler. You suggested that last time, too.
Just sharpen something on the graveler's head. Like, yo, graveler guy, could you use rollout in place?
Burn.
Or like rapid spin? just like use it in place.
Honestly, you're better off going to Sea Spray for a lot of these materials. He looks mildly apologetic. But if you need something to do today, I could always use help in here. It also keeps me from having to deal with Pangoro. We might be headed that way regardless, so if that works out, Rick grins. And sure, I can help out. At least I can do after all your help. Darn straight. Now then. And he pushes a clipboard into Brooke's hands and a clipboard into the Squirrel's hands. Great. We get to do monthly inventory. You are going to be busy all day. And he grins. And he grins that way like, I have trapped you now.
Haha, got him.
Not that he won't repay your help. But I should note, to move things along as much as I like all the interactions, Ralph will make it back around mid-afternoon. And Zeal will be running circles around Ralph at this point, because having ridden on Ralph's shoulder for a majority of the trip, he now has energy to spare.
I unleash a plague upon Savant Town, a fully energized Zeal.
We're back! We're back! We're back! Ralph's back! And he's big!
I'm big, yeah.
As he just sort of runs down the main street and back up and around Ralph, and then he runs into the Pioneering Club. We're back!
Oh, yeah.
I'll never stop loving how Zill's model's back legs just go really weird if you pick them up really fast. It's the best thing ever.
And then Zeal gets stopped by a certain purple palm to his head. Oi, lad. I'm the only one allowed to make a racket around here.
Alright.
Sorry.
Yeah, false alarm, the dogs were barking at nothing.
Oh, I was wondering where you went. You should repeat that then, Car.
Yeah.
So, where does Ralph go?
I believe I'll head towards the RHQ first. I'll tell Zeal, hey, so go give the pre-briefing to Pango Django. Don't leave anything out. Go into full detail.
Okay, but, I don't have a whole lot of details. As he is being held by the head by Florence, who just smiles over to you and gives you a thumbs up.
How'd it go in Florida?
Good to see a lot. There's much more there is to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure this will be
Anyway,
alright. Sorry, go on.
He is going to be alright.
He's gonna what?
Alright, what was he going to say?
Oh. As much more of you there was to see. Crap, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, he's right. I'm big now.
Oh well then. I'm sure that's a right tale. And I'll be happy to hear it later, as soon as this squirmy one's done with. And Zeal is now hugging onto and kind of vibratedly gnawing on Florence's arm in order to be let go, not that Florence seems to care. I will not be contained!
Nope, you sure won't. Anywho, I better go report to my team leader.
Aye.
And then,
So if you're looking for him, he's not in his base. Last I saw, he
Oh,
went
no.
to the club and didn't come out.
oh no, Pango Django or Glaze must have kidnapped him real good. Alright, let's go see.
Lesser ways, Rise decided to keep him in the kitchen for hot water. That'd be funny.
What, does he know Brian?
Brooke does not know Brian, as far as I know. Or Scald, I believe it is.
Scald.
I believe we mentioned
Salt
Brooke.
water.
Yeah. I believe we mentioned the potential for Brooke learning those moves, but he hasn't.
Scald is such a good move, a water type move that burns like hell yeah.
Yep.
It's
So-
not on my list.
Oh, it is?
It's not. I think it might be on for alligators.
Maybe.
Let's see.
Oh, right, because it can flip.
Yeah.
It's not.
But
It's
technically,
not, no.
I would see that as a potential learnable thing, certainly, though.
It is.
Just through
We're gonna go.
unconventional means.
Yeah. We're gonna go say hello to our team leader wherever he is in the base.
So, Forwards comes in. He drops Zeal, of course. And Zeal zooms up to go chat with Pangoro, as you asked. And, of course, one of the first places Florence looks is behind the counter and just shakes his head and gestures towards the quartermaster's office. Or as he likes to call it, the Charizard closet.
Chart circles.
Alright, he's yeah, sorry, I'm going back and forth so much.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Just let us know when you're stepping away, okay?
sorry. But yeah, I'm back again, and is it apparent where Book is going?
He's not behind the counter, where Rise and Hot Dog currently are, and you're noting that Rise and Hot Dog's mannerisms are vaguely similar to some extent. Mostly, it has to do with the expression and also the coffee, of which they have matching mugs that are off to the side.
I'm with Bossy. I'm with Bad Helper.
Something like that.
World's worst boss, world's worst helper.
I'm sure they have sitcom shenanigans in the background.
But by the way, I had this
Hey,
thought. Oh, I had this thought earlier. When you mentioned, when Florence was like, "I'm the only one that can make rack around here," I was like, "Oh yes, that makes sense." Bards, professional racket makers.
I mean, they have the greatest racket of all. They get paid for singing and dancing. Anyway, I guess I'll just I'll greet Rise, tell him my new form. How you go, you skinny cat?
Good evening. How may I help you? Rise says, seemingly not recognizing you.
Turn around, like, don't you recognize me?
Blinks
Tip my hat.
slowly in the way cats do. And his eyes slowly widen as he recognizes you.
Yeah, I mean, I put on a few pounds since we last talked, but yeah, I hope I'm still recognizable.
Ralph? And Hot Dog just spits out some water he'd been drinking. What in the name of Giratina did you do?
Well, I evolved. But yes, Ralph, the very same.
Oh, it doesn't look quite like a Snorlax as you'd think. Florence cheekily adds, just leaning on the counter. Well, there go our surplus supplies, I guess.
The surplus supplies will be fine.
How are you feeling?
I'm pretty good, actually.
Have you seen Mawile? Does she know?
She knew I was going. I don't know if she knows I'm back yet. And I'm kind of nervous. I hope she likes all this.
Rise hops on the counter, jumps down, normally would not be stepping on the counter, and then he just rears up and starts pushing on your side towards the door. And what the heck are you doing? Go talk to her, you idiot.
I was thinking
She's the first one you should be showing this to, not us.
I was thinking that, I should report to my leader first, but okay, I'll go over.
Oh, please. Brooke has been holed up with Blaze all day. He's not going anywhere.
I figured either you, Pango Django, or Blaze kidnapped.
Pangoro has been holed up in his office. Not quite sure why. He's been doing that for 2 whole days. But seriously, put some priority on your lady, Put some priority on your lady, Suavanova.
Yeah.
Rise
Alright,
smiles.
so yeah, we'll go over there.
Rise smiles approvingly.
Alright, let's go knock on Mawil's door. Very nervous.
Also, I'm sorry if that seemed pushy, but that is exactly how Rise would have reacted.
No, it seems pretty appropriate, honestly.
Brooke peeks his head out, like just in time to miss her out. I heard yelling. Everyone okay? You are not going to believe. And then Rise just pops up with Shadow Sneak and puts a paw in Hot Dog's mouth. Everything's fine. Florence, of course, says nothing.
Alright.
Brooke shrugs, returns to work. So, Ralph knocks on the door, and Mawile answers, and she has under her arm what looks like a Bronzor, or what was a Bronzor at one point in time. She also has the not Claydol, the ball toy that got deactivated on the desk, and she has apparently been studying them.
Cool.
Yes?
So,
And then she
how's it
gasps. She gasps long and hard from both mouths.
oh, that's actually really attractive when you gasp from both mouths.
I'm sorry. I found that funny. Ralph?
The very same. So, how do I look? It's not too big, it's not too small, I hope
She
I'm a good
she
myself.
jumps up at you and does the jump hug thing.
Yes, I shall hug back.
I'm so glad you're okay, and you look amazing, and, well, strong, I guess.
Yeah.
You're still Ralph, right?
Yeah, I'm still Ralph.
Good. Because I didn't want you to turn out like Pangoro.
Nah. I'm still Ralph, just about 2.5, 3 times as heavy.
Well, that doesn't matter. It's not like my house has a second floor.
Oh,
Or should I call it our house? She sort of shrugs and slides down.
eyes sparkle at our house. Our house, that is an appealing prospect.
She blushes slightly and sort of rocks back and forth on her heels a bit. I mean, well, you know. Anyway, I'm glad you're back and okay. How many others have you shown already?
Well, trying to find my team leader to report back to him. I saw Rise and Horndog. As it turns out, my leader has been volunteered for some inventory work, so I don't think I'll be seeing him till tonight. Or maybe till tomorrow morning, depending on how things go. So, anything exciting happening here while I was gone?
Well, not really. I've only just sort of started studying these things that came from the cairn again.
Taking a look at the Bronzor. Man, that thing was so tough when we fought. But I bet I could knock it out no problem now.
I mean, big as you are, you'd probably flatten it. Well, I mean, she holds it up and sort of flips it over. Kind of flat to begin with.
Taking it away from me, not having.
Like it nice and flat. Also, I don't think I've ever seen this before in another Snorlax, but looking down at myself, I'm pretty sure I'm part psychic though.
Wait, really? Huh. Well, I guess that explains the color, kind of. She does a circle around Ralph, inspecting him. Huh. And she just sort of screams at this, like, screams disappointment at the sky or disgruntlement, and then just rubs her face into the back of the dead Bronzor. There's too many projects and things I want to do.
Feeling good?
Oh, what were you wanting to study this?
Yes, I want to study this! And she drops the Bronzor on the ground with a thunk and gestures both arms towards you. You never cease to be interesting, Ralph.
And then
Close the door behind me. I mean, we can make that happen.
Maybe a little later, okay? I'd kind of need to clean up first, and also, I'm not really a chancy, so I'm going to avoid any in-depth biology.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna let you, like, dissect me or anything.
Oh, that's the word for it. Okay.
No,
Yep, I will not be dissecting. The only things I want to dissect are these things! And she picks up the Bronzor again. Or is it dismantling? I don't know. I'm figuring out how this works and why they are so different.
So, does the Bronzor have, like, an access panel or something, or did you have to, like, break it open?
Well, it's not broken open, and it's not like there's an access panel per se, but they're definitely... I guess the word is techy.
So, like, yeah, but do you take it apart with, like, a screwdriver, or what? How's that work?
Well, it certainly makes me think of your zapper, but whatever this is, it's way more advanced and uses metal and stone tech.
been anything.
Does it look familiar if I, like, look at the Bronzor's insides? Like, does it look like computer circuits?
You don't really see the circuit lines like you saw in the cairn. They just look like normal Pokemon to you.
I'll glance, I can't make heads or tails of it.
Well, I mean, I am trying to determine what makes them different. How are they able to exist in the cairn for so long? Did they subsist on a power source? Are they linked to it? Is there a hive mind? You know? Lots of unanswered questions.
Indeed, indeed.
Well,
Taking a look.
you can always help me with this stuff later. And she sets the Bronzor aside, and then takes one of Ralph's hands in hers. We should probably go show your friends.
Indeed.
I mean, you could always, surprise them and roll down the stairs of your base or something.
I should actually have a little bit more room in my room than I thought. I actually avoided putting too much furniture in there because, I knew my evolution was pretty big.
Aw. Is that why you keep sleeping over? She just sort of nudges you on the side.
There might be some other, incentives to sleeping over here.
As she reopens the door and tugs Ralph out, shutting it and starting to head toward the Pioneering Club because, well, she doesn't know where everyone is.
And I reckon you'll want me to sleep over more often now, because it's just a guess, but slap my tummy a bit. I reckon this here is more comfy than your bed.
I mean... She ponders a minute, and then pokes at your tummy, which tickles a bit, and then she squishes at your tummy, which also tickles a bit, and then just poke, squish, 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 poke. Yeah, okay, that's pretty soft. Better than a mat on the floor.
Well, I guess I'll be your mat on the floor.
Mattress.
Mattress. Or mat laugh.
She laughs. But yes, you get back to the Pioneering Club. Everyone is still where you kind of left them. Except Pangoro is now downstairs, looking mildly exhausted.
How's it going, Pango?
I think so as well.
I needed absolutely nothing else to tell it was you.
I'm almost trying to see.
Of course.
And the hat. Pretty distinctive.
Yes, I love my hat. It's very cool.
Pangoro extends a hand. Congratulations.
I extend my hand and shake his. Wow, we're as tall as each other now, just about.
It helps to be on eye
weird.
level, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's weird to not look up so far. I mean, I still gotta look up a little bit, but like.
Huh. Yeah, well. Now you know how Blaze felt when he evolved.
Yeah, I guess I do. That's quite a change from Charmeleon to Charizard, isn't it?
It is for a lot
Really?
of Pokemon.
When he gets to fly, too. I flew one time.
There are stories we could tell. Oh, hi, are we telling stories now? Florence sort of pushes himself up from the counter a bit. Please do not do story time right now. Rise rolls his eyes.
So, do you have stories, Mr. Florence, of Blaze learning to fly?
Well, I wasn't exactly around for all that, but I've heard certain tales, and I'd be more interested in hearing more. Rise just gives Florence a bit of a look. Let's just say we don't want to be embarrassing Blaze when he isn't here. If he sneezes in the storage room, everything goes up. You hear a sneeze from the storage room. See? Blaze pokes his head out. Okay, is one of you talking about me? When did we get a Snorlax? And he suddenly looks incredibly concerned.
What you worried about me for?
Brooke, we might need to recalculate everything. He calls back into his quote-unquote Charizard closet. Ways, it's fine. It's Ralph. I feel
Wave.
like my statement still
Wordless
stands.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
The Charizard is looking at you like he doesn't believe that. For even 2 seconds.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this is the first time since I've been a Pokemon. Well, I mean, that I can remember. I mean, the first time that I can remember that I've been not hungry, but without having, eaten like 12 plates of food. I mean, because there's been like a couple times I was not hungry, but it was like right after the festival or right after the big eating contest in Savant Town. A couple times. But I actually both feel not hungry, and I didn't have to, eat a mound of food to get that one.
Meanwhile, while Ralph is explaining that, Brooke hears this and goes, "What? But I just..." And he stops in the doorway, seeing Ralph. Oh.
How's it going, bro?
Actually, you look smaller than I expected, Brooke says after a glance.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm definitely one of the smaller Snorlaxes I see. But that works out. I'm more battle ready.
If
It is true you're a bit smaller than I expected. But we'll see what happens. You're a pioneer. And even if you could potentially eat everyone out of the town, it's not like we could just abandon you for it.
Yeah, I've taken specific measures. I can't really go into detail what they are, but I've taken specific measures to make sure that doesn't happen. In fact, that was one of my #1 concerns about evolving.
I'm going to learn about all of these measures.
Yeah, maybe.
You speak of me as if I am not a scientist.
so,
Oh, I thought that was heckin'. I didn't think that was Mawile talking.
I could tell.
I thought that
But
was Zeal.
It is a lot of
Oh, I'm
voices.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. That was Mawile. I should have mentioned that. Yeah, Mawile saying, "I'm going to learn about all of these measures."
Yes. And probably about more measures. Like you're gonna know them all. You see.
Ralph, I'm going to learn about your every dimension and have a notebook about everything about you that is different from a normal Snorlax.
I look forward to teaching you.
She smiles and just puts her hands together. Oh, I'm sure you two will get to know each other very well. Rise. I have said absolutely nothing out of the ordinary.
And yet,
Okay, I'm going back into the closet now. It's just Blaze turns around, looks at Brooke and also at Squirtle, and takes the clipboards. We're done for the day. I'm going to hide and try to consolidate this in my head.
yeah, of course.
Good job on evolving, Ralph. I know it wasn't an easy decision, Brooke says with a smile, and he blinks as his clipboard is taken. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm free now. Squirtle looks very happy about being free.
now,
Get us locked up
So
for
you
3
guys-
hours.
So I guess you guys are done with your volunteer work.
If you can call it that.
Yeah.
In case you weren't aware, Brooke has been building a forge outside your base.
Oh, I was not aware.
Tree.
Which I don't
Yes.
think of. That's pretty cool. I have a boards and a daycare. It doesn't seem too safe, unless, you know, we have nice baby gates in place.
Yeah, it was kind of spur of the moment idea, but you know me. Brooke chuckles. It's fine. It's on the opposite side of your base from where the daycare normally is.
Oh, that's good, that's good.
Generally speaking, it's not been lit yet. It's just built.
Any
That
other
said,
new development?
maybe I should have you all put that in an enclosed space so it can't be wandered into. Maybe. I'd need to consult Blaze on how all that works, if he ever leaves his closet. Oh, Pangoro, he left the closet ages ago. I thought we weren't going to embarrass Blaze when he's not here. Who said it's embarrassing?
Shit. Oh man, I'm sure with that long hook still, you've hooked plenty of people out of there and dragged them out. You just reach your tail up in the closet, you feel someone, and you pull them out with that big old hook.
Well, now
That's how
you
it
make
works,
me
right?
sound like I'm some sort of predatory angler. For a minute, Rise gives Ralph this look like he's hurt, but then he just smiles sweetly and sort of turns to go back to work. Besides, I have standards.
I wonder if he could go fishing with that tail, actually.
He can.
Just like dip it in the water and like,
That said, there is another development I should probably talk to you all about,
2 and 3.
but unfortunately Tucker isn't here right now.
he's okay, right?
Pangoro seems to think really hard for a minute. Define okay. Meanwhile, Brooke replies, he's probably caring for his puppy right now. Oh yeah, the egg hatched.
So Brooke's a daddy, or a mommy.
Just Pangoro coughing and rapidly trying to cover his mouth in order to avoid laughing too hard. I lay no claim to parentage, Brooke says flatly.
Call me Big Uncle Ralph.
Sure.
Yeah, you guys don't, but the kid can when he can talk.
Sure, I'll tell all the kids in the daycare to let them call you that.
Monty.
I think about it. Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Well, he probably would be the fun uncle.
Mawile just sort of raises her eyebrows and looks at Ralph in that way that's like, well, okay then. Anyway, I was trying to let Tucker reveal the surprise, but yes. There is the matter of the new arrival. And some understandings that must be reached.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff's happening. Alright, so what should we understand?
Well, first, I'd like Tucker to be here,
Yeah,
so it's
all in
not
here.
second-hand knowledge. Second, it's partially because I am under the understanding you may be leaving again soon, that I am going to be telling you this now instead of just waiting.
Okay, so someone go.
Right. I'll see if I can find him then, Brooke says. Appreciated. For now, since I'm already down here, Pangoro looks over at the counter. Might as well get some meals ready, Rise. We're going to have a conversation dinner. Oh yay, one of those. Huh. Couldn't you at least lighten up a little, Pangoro? There are things I could say, but they would be particularly mean to you. No. Well, I appreciate it. And Pangoro goes and finds a seat at a table, letting Brooke go off to find Tucker wherever Tucker's gone.
Tucker probably would have returned to base upon failing to find something to entertain the pup, like a bone to entertain the puppy with, that was safe to give to the puppy. So he'd probably be back. Base would be the logical place to look for him, anyways. So.
So it's probably not hard for Brooke to find Tucker.
Indeed, indeed. And also, though Tucker is in a puppy mindset, if properly explained, he can probably slip back to a more sentient mode. And Brooke would definitely be the person that could probably do that. He's already interacted with this element before. So I will say as a refresher, though, as Brooke probably types, Brooke knows how to knock Tucker into sense. And while Tucker's not exactly in a bad state, it's not like the flight or flight, self-preservation feral states like he was. I think he's had 2 now. I think Tucker's had 2 states before this where he went feral. One of them due to fear in that one hotel with the nightmarish illusions. And I can't remember what the other time was.
Hey, Tucker, Brooke says as he finds him. The boss wants to have a word with us. Think you can turn your speech on again?
Flip the switch.
What a way to ask.
Tucker,
It's a Brooke way to ask.
It's a Brooke way to ask. Tucker takes a second to fully acknowledge that. He is, after all, a bit simple right now. But he does kind of slowly nod, but also looks towards the puppy. He takes a second and goes, important. He kind of acknowledges. He he nudges the puppy, which the puppy was probably just lazy with the puppy for a bit. So he probably just gently pushes the puppy off his belly and stands up and expresses,
babysitter. Then I can.
And he grabs the puppy by the nape of the neck and goes to see who can deal the puppy for a little while. Who is fortunately, I would say at this point, a little tired from the trip out. So maybe not as nippy.
Well, considering that Lizard is probably still about, you can probably rope Lizard into doing it.
Yes, this seems fair. One baby doll eyes later. So Tucker will turn the puppy over to Lizard and kind of just expresses he kind of turns back on the speech.
Won't be gone too long. He should be fine. Or they should be fine.
And before Tucker does that, Burke just nods, I'll be here when you get back. And Burke is there when Tucker gets back from giving Puppy over to Lizard, who Lizard is keeping them bundled up at the moment, because that seems to keep Puppy from doing too much nibbling.
Tucker approves of this. It is probably the safer thing for Puppy to be bundled up sometimes. Tucker returns to Brooke and heads out with him.
Ready.
He is kind of still awkward. It's more than just turning his speech on, but more turning on the more analytical side of his brain in general. And telling his instincts to curb a bit. And Brooke probably realizes this, so Tucker's still a little awkward as they head back, but he's able to go. A line.
Fair warning, Ralph's back from the Cave of Mirrors, he says, just letting Tucker think on it on the way.
Oh.
It's like Tucker didn't remember that for a bit. So the reminder is useful to him.
So he doesn't see the snow ice and go, who's this stranger? Stranger danger.
It seems for a second that Tucker does need to recollect things that happened recently, because Puppy has been entirely encased in his mind lately. For the last day or so. It is noticeable to Brooke that while Tucker is a little awkward as he kind of recovers his sentience, he is absolutely just radiating a sense of warmth. Though Tucker is clearly very very much in a good state, even if a bit of an awkward state. But with that being said, I guess they'll return. I thought Tucker did not know that he left the cave. Oh yeah, that's true, actually. Well, he acts like he didn't know anyways, regardless of if he did know, because of his feral focus. So, yeah, but it works out even better if he didn't even know.
I mean, someone might have told him after the fact, just Ralph didn't tell him.
I mean, it depends on who. The more people Ralph told, the more likely it may have been dropped to Tucker.
Yeah.
He didn't tell very many people at all. He told Mawa, and I think he told Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burke likely told Tucker after he left, but I remember the reason why Ralph did not initially tell Tucker, and I understand it.
What was the reason again?
The possibility we run into the Shadow Scavengers on the way there.
Does Brooke share that detail, I wonder?
That's a good question.
I don't think
But-
Brooke is entirely aware of that reasoning.
So yeah, I think the motivations would not be told. Yeah, so Tucker probably would have, at the time, found it a bit strange that he went on his own, or rather, with just Zeal, but he kind of just accepts that. Yeah, like, okay, he wanted to do that himself.
It was one of those things where Ralph didn't want Tucker potentially coming along for this.
Brooke just assumed that he just wanted to do it on his own. He didn't really think too hard about why.
Tucker might have secretly felt that he did dodge a bit of a bullet not having to go back out there, not probably realizing that that was what Ralph was actually attempting to avoid him having to do.
Yes. But you will come back to the Pioneering Club to find Pangoro, Ralph, Mawile, and Squirtle
Come this
all
way.
at a table.
This way.
Food has already been
So
served,
do I. Right here.
and food has also been left out for you two as well.
Tucker actually has a stomach growl, and he, though politely, still goes immediately for the food. It seems that Tucker has completely neglected his own food needs as he's been focusing on the puppy.
Yeah, good to see you, Tuck.
Oh,
In fact, he's so focused on the food, he doesn't actually notice Ralph at first.
you did evolve.
Yep.
You look a little different than I expected.
Yeah. A little bit unique, but, you know, that's that's how I roll.
Tucker actually blinks as he kind of focuses on Ralph a little bit. Kind of cocking his head, because he knows enough about Pokemon, at least in like with eternal knowledge from the past, to know that a Snorlax is a normal type, but his dark nature kind of senses a little bit more out of Ralph than that. Though he doesn't say anything.
I mean, you wouldn't get anything specific, but you can get that Ralph is different.
Yeah.
But Pangoro gives you all time to eat a little bit before he broaches the subject.
Well, you're not here with the puppy. I suppose that's all for the better. Though they are at least partially the subject for why I'm talking to you.
Oh, the puppy is being cared for right now.
Tucker actually looks a bit tense with this mention, though.
Am I in trouble or something?
You all realize this is a dangerous line of work, yes?
Give a nod.
Tucker definitely nods weightily at that.
Pangoro is very pointedly looking at Squirtle, who is happily stuffing their face.
Before you leave, you need to make considerations of who is going to take care of them when you are not here. I understand you have teammates who might be capable, but also understand if that is fair to them or not.
Yes, sir.
Tucker kind of says a little weakly,
You're
realizing
still a
that-
kid, so it's hard for me to believe that you can have full responsibility in this matter.
I'm surprised you never.
The only reason that I'm not harping on you directly is because there are those with you who are more responsible.
that seems to make Tucker look like he feels a little worse hearing that.
I'm not saying that you are not fit to deal with this, but you are young to be dealing with it. Moreover, if you were to perish, since we are going to be flat about it, Where do they go? In case you haven't noticed, it's kind of an orphanage here as well.
Squirtle has stopped eating.
It is a grim thing to talk about, yes. But it is important. Especially since, as I know, you have plans to leave soon. Where and why, I'm not entirely certain. But since you will be leaving soon, it is prudent of you to think about what will happen in your absence. Partially because most assuredly they will be put in my care.
I have been on a team where we have one.
Implying that they will be put in the daycare.
Tucker kind of nods, taking this in.
They're not exactly like every other kid. They're different, even from normal Puccina. And definitely more wild.
And also giving the other party members a chance to speak up if they want. Tucker would probably continue after a minute, though, and say,
But that difference also makes them worth protecting. I think... Well, I don't know the sciencey stuff too much, but...
He kind of actually glances over at Ralph. Maybe Ralph could figure this out a bit more.
But I think the egg was in a box that was an incubator. I think that was the word. And I think they're a really old type of Puccina. And it might be really special that they're around. So, I mean, I know I have my own emotional attachment, obviously, but I think they're worth protecting beyond that. But you're right, Mr. Pangoro. They can't just be put with the other daycare kids or something.
Yeah.
This isn't about whether they're worth protecting or not. Of course they are.
Rave music.
This is about how they are going to be cared for while you are away. Who is going to care for them? When? Of course, they're probably going to be stuck in the daycare at some point. But given how young they are, they need direct care. And no offense to Ralph and Malwild, but I don't think either of them is capable of that direct care.
I would be offended if it wasn't true. Also because Ralph is going to be going too, right?
And that.
I guess I am just a kid. Maybe I've been by enough more than I could chew.
He says, kind of unaware of the irony of a Puccina saying that.
Burke clears his throat. It wasn't entirely our choice to have the kid, but we found the egg and no one else really volunteered to take care of it. To take care for it. So if there was a better place for it, then we could have asked this question a while ago.
That is part of the point.
Because I just saw a bunch of rockets flying over our head.
How much more time is there before the trip were to happen?
We don't have a timetable.
You don't. Not for this one. Only that it is quote unquote
If we're
soon.
still in the ruins, there's a
Okay. Tucker sighs for a moment.
I know we don't have long until we have to go, but I can dedicate the rest of the days until then helping train the puppy. I'm definitely their parent. They've definitely focused on me. And so, maybe...
He kind of looks to Brooke.
Brooke, when I'm less together, you are always good at giving commands. Could I have your help? It may not be perfect, but I think the puppy can learn some basic commands and stuff, then I think things would be okay with us going for a while.
I can't remember if it's ever been actually brought up about Brooke's past. If he, I think the trainer aspect has been public for a while, but
He hasn't talked too much about it.
right. But Tucker can go off of his own experiences. When Brooke gave him orders, he felt it. Tucker continues.
The puppy is kind of wild, and it might take a while for him to get out of that. Or maybe they will always be that way, but if they can learn some commands and know how to behave from that, then I think that it would be okay for them to be at the base. But
He kind of lowers his head a little bit.
I realize I am just a kid, so
He looks kind of defeated as he says,
if other people want to do other things, I'll go with that.
all right, I think I'll give the others the floor for the bit. Also, FYI, I actually stopped the music because it was a serious enough scene for it, I'd say. I'm sure that Kyrio's typing something, but Tubby, do you think Ralph would have any words?
I shouldn't think it's be too hard to at least teach him how to do some stuff.
What
I mean, we got a great community here. Very smart individual.
Actually, Tucker does raise one question to Pangoro.
Have wilds ever stayed in communities before? And ferals, for that matter? How do they get along with the community?
I'm gonna do Brooks Line first.
Okay.
We're a team, and we joined together knowing we were going to tackle each challenge together. Brooks says, whether or not it's fair to them, Hot Dog, Wizard, and Riley are going to stay, so it'll fall to them if the worst happens. That's the only option we have.
Perhaps if the worst happens.
Yes.
And no,
He's hiding behind like the
Tucker.
fucking right front of.
ferals do not live in societies. Towns, rather. And wilds choose to eschew them. If a wild is going to be in a town, it is only going to be for a limited time, and for a reason. You are treating this child as if they are already feral or wild, when you know neither. And I feel that is a flaw in your reasoning.
I agree with the battle
And it's
flag.
part of the reason that I am concerned about your level of maturity and responsibility in this matter. More specifically,
I'm not gonna
why
lie,
I'm
once you
concerned
say I
about
was
you
listening
three.
to,
I believe you understand my implication here, when I say you may not have the instincts necessary. But that serious statement aside, rather than attempting to train them,
Coach Steve.
perhaps try to get them acclimated to some of the others in town. If the team is away and otherwise occupied, then having someone in town who would be willing to care for them would be ideal, particularly since they are not yet old enough to be in the daycare, barring an emergency. I would have suggestions, but your thoughts are more valuable first.
Tucker considers Pangoro's words, and he kind of really does hang his head at this point.
I'm sorry.
He kind of says in a very low tone.
I don't know if they're feral or not. I guess I just don't know their origins, where they came from. This is probably a long time ago, and, well, I guess my only other interactions with Puchinas have been rough. So maybe I was playing for the worst case.
He kind of does flatten his ears at that, realizing he's not being fair to the puppy in that thinking. Tuffy.
It sounds like you have much in common with your mentor, then.
Rise, by the way, who has been listening from all the way over in his workstation, pins his ears back and resumes working, realizing he has been called out.
Tucker does perk up an ear just for a second at that mention. The bit of curiosity striking his expression, but he doesn't push it.
Yeah, so that's the plan. And we take the kid on a few walks around town, introduce him to some people. Maybe a few more people each day. Don't want to overwhelm the kid. So, we take him on a few walks, introduce him to maybe 1-2 new people a day. And see how he develops. Maybe try to teach him some words so he can work out if he's wild or not.
Pangoro raises an eyebrow, opening one of his eyes in the process.
They're only a few days old, Ralph.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you gotta take it easy. But, no baby knows what you're telling them when they're first a baby. They gotta hear lots and lots of words to start understanding. And then he shrugs. Maybe they have to hear 1,000,000 words, but, yeah.
I guess I didn't think we should impose on the town for something we brought in, Brooke says, rubbing his head. But I guess we could ask around.
If I may make a suggestion, especially since I am now concerned about Ralph's capability to parent,
Mawile does her best not to stick her and just gently pats Ralph on the hand.
I thought it was a good suggestion. I mean, I didn't mean right now we take him.
You're doing your best. Also, it was totally a good suggestion. I would have done the same thing.
And now I am concerned about Mawile's ability to parent.
And she just pouts and puffs out her cheeks.
There is one couple in Savant Town you could always ask.
It's okay, we don't share an anchor if. You say like it matters.
Tucker does not, hopefully, at some of these suggestions.
We might not be... We may have never been parents, but some people in town have. Certainly going to them could give us some information and maybe help the puppy.
This might surprise you.
What the fuck happened to you?
I don't know that they were parents. Of course, they've never spoken about that to anyone. But Miltank and Crocodile might actually be a pick.
You can almost hear the record scratch. As at least a few other Pokemon look at Pangoro, having been listening in on this conversation, out of curiosity, just eavesdropping, just looking at him like he's insane.
You guys could eavesdrop a little more subtle. I mean, I was about as subtle as I am.
Crocodile says less a question and more a statement.
Yes, I know. And also, this is a private conversation. You can go back to your meals.
He snarls, and everyone immediately does so, or tries to at least make a better effort at appearing like they weren't listening at all.
You can get in trouble just for listening to someone talk about impersonating a soldier.
Oh gosh, from ants.
In any
You want to
case,
start falling back?
it's just a suggestion. And I understand your misgivings. But at least Miltank in particular has the bedside manner for it. Or however you would call it.
Step in.
Another suggestion would be, tentatively,
You about to run out?
Pansage and Panpour. They aren't exactly a couple, but there's only so much trouble the kid can get to in the orchard. Hopefully.
Bawile pauses to think about
Falling
this.
back in the room.
What about digging up all the plants? Yep.
Well, maybe they could get the puppy to dig holes for the plants instead of digging them up.
He rubs the back of his head.
Look, I'm trying my best to give you suggestions here. Because, well, one of the only other options I can think of.
His eyes drift back over to Rise.
Tucker also drifts his eyes over to Rise. Guess I'll put the music back on since it's got a little lighthearted again.
And like, shit, this girl, he's gonna fuck solo.
Anyway,
Yes, it is.
I'll leave you to your meal. All I ask is that you inform me when you're going to go,
Surprised.
and what you're going to do with the pup in that meantime.
Yes, sir.
Wait. At least that way, if anything happens, I can be poised for anything that happens. Enjoy the rest of your meal. Eddie. Brooke nods. Tucker, take a week to talk to everyone around town. I'm sure we can find a godparent around here somewhere. That can be up to your discretion.
Okay.
Tucker nods.
As Pangoro quietly excuses himself because this is an awkward conversation he didn't think he would have to have with you all. But he has to have it with you.
Yeah, we're the best parent material.
It occurs to me that the Pangoro's probably the first one to point out, hey Tucker, you're still a kid. Out of anyone. And while that may seem a little mean, he actually is kind of looking out for Tucker. Tucker sometimes forgets he's a kid. In fact, he's had to grow up a lot and do a lot of adult things.
Nobody even knows how old Brooke is.
10,000 years?
I mean, though Tucker can be quite the adult, quite mature for his age, he still makes it pretty obvious that he's not that old compared to everybody else. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it'll give you such a crick in the neck.
Yup.
Yeah. Or for a different reference of 10,000. Or many. What?
So Tucker kind of thinks about it for a bit, feeling a little less awkward as a bit of time passes, a few minutes pass. Tucker suggests,
Well, I guess the fairest thing for the puppy would be to both teach it a few commands in case it gets into trouble, but also try to teach it, well, it's too young to learn language, but it could still be taught some sentient things here and there.
he says, not entirely even sure what he's talking about.
We could encourage his intelligence, in other words.
So,
Noibat flutters in, perhaps almost too silently. Hey. Squeak. I'm sure just being around other Pokemon will help with that, Brooke says. Sorry, I missed the line initially. You all are going on another mission?
I don't know.
Tucker, first to notice, kind of does a nod.
Yeah. Pretty soon.
Just gonna give people a chance to respond.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen.
What was that?
No, that it's been a minute since I've seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been away, and I did things too.
Gosh.
Why, that he has. Helping me out on my own mission. Isn't that right? Also, I apologize. I can tell I'm not getting Florence's voice as correct as I want.
It's still good. Don't worry about it.
So I'm just probably.
It is hard to do that voice. I didn't realize, and it just worked the first
I
time.
can't even pull off that accent, so.
Oh, hey, Noibat, Work says. Yeah, we're gonna head off at some
Oh,
point.
man, like,
Probably
we are
not super
far
soon
away
yet.
Florence sort of seats himself where Pangoro was, and Noibat
You even know.
kind of perches themselves on the edge of the table there as well. I take it this wheel out has something interesting in mind. What's it to you, Mr. Florence? Well, let's just say I've gotten a taste of adventuring for
I don't.
once in the blue moon, as they put it. Shall I take a guess, or am I allowed to let you gander? It's banter. Well, considering all the starring you're doing. There it is, it's coming back to me. Noibat sort of glowers at Florence. I want to come with you, if that's okay. They take a minute and snap their head to see if Rise is listening. And it does not appear as though Rise is currently at the cooking station or counter at the moment, as if he's gone off to get some supplies.
What?
And then everybody just sat and ate their bill for a while.
Ralph will. I feel like Ralph nodding. Could be fine.
Well, sure, I don't have a problem with that, Rook says. He looks where Noibat glances. Is this an unofficial request? Noibat looks again, just to be sure. Yes! Well, Rise doesn't have any faith in my abilities. I did exactly as they asked, and they still won't let me be a pioneer for real. I want to be stronger,
You're doing some pretty good damage, though.
and the only way that's going to happen is if I stop being some stupid scout and if I actually get to do things.
Yeah, I mean, we won't let you. That's no fun. So, yeah, you go with us, then we'll make sure to protect you from anything lethal, but if you go out, you get banged up a little, and when it heals, you're stronger. That's more or less how it works.
Tucker actually has a bit of a mixed expression. He actually is a bit quieter. He kind of repeats a bit of that, what Noibat said.
Having faith in your abilities, huh? Yeah, you can come along, if you want.
Tucker is notably down at this point.
I like it.
Clearly thinking
Thanks.
a bit.
Destroyed.
Where are you going? I know that's the question that needs answering. Where exactly is the illustrious team cheer going?
Illustrious, I like.
Well, considering the tales you've told me and where I can spread them, you'll have your own legends yet.
Legend you don't. Anywho, I'm a little bit foggy on the details of where we're going. over the last few days being so exciting, but our leader should more or less know what's up.
Tucker also looks towards Brooke, maybe not knowing a whole bunch of details himself.
Like, I was probably told at some point, but like, I am completely flaking out.
No,
I've
that's
been
fine.
a little distracted too.
Tucker mentions.
That's fine. If y'all just want a reminder, I can give it to you.
In character and out of character, both in both situations, Tucker forgot.
Yeah, out of character, I completely
You
forgot
guys are
what was next
hopeless.
on the agenda.
There was a list, wasn't there? I think that's why I forgot. Because there was a lot.
There is a whole list.
Yeah, I mean, okay, to be fair, Tucker does recall, I will mention,
Well, one of the things that I was focused on was I want to try to help Shaman out and try to apply what we learned from Articuno.
What's that then? What you learned from Articuno? Florence leans in with a bit of interest.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised Ralph didn't say anything yet.
By the way, Ralph may have said something to Florence at some point, and I forgot.
I'll take off my hat and be like, yeah, check it out. This feather here is one of Articuno's primaries.
Really now? Well, if you don't have the fancy makings of a bard's hat. Also, Bother Librarian Luxray is the side quest you're thinking of, by the way.
yes, that's the one that relates to Articuno's information. I think it was.
Oh shit! Oh yeah.
So
Fighting bitch.
we're just gonna go back to Sea Spray?
Zig rush.
Noibat tilts their head. They look mildly confused.
Well, yeah. There's a lot we can do there, actually. And hopefully a lot of good.
Go ahead, bro.
Yep.
Did Brooke have a line?
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay, I thought you were about to speak something. My bad.
People have just been talking, is all.
I'm sorry.
Possibly wondering, I wonder if it's harder for me to get drunk or next Friday.
Harder
what?
for you to get.
Get drunk.
Drunk? Oh, drunk.
Higher body mass index, so math says
So,
yes.
yes.
Math says yes. I have a question while we wait a little bit. What is Squirrel's age in relation to Tucker's? Has that ever been terribly clear?
It hasn't. Just that Squirtle is young.
It's just guys appear.
Truth be told, Squirtle is probably roughly the same age as Tucker, if not a bit younger.
Got the impression of not too far off, but younger.
Same, I was thinking like a couple years young.
Well, it is notable that Tucker, while he originally was hardly going into his meal first, after the serious conversation, he's still hungry and he's still eating, but he's definitely eating quite a bit slower. Kind of picking at it as he goes. How does Ralph eat, actually, now? This is his first major meal since having a bit of a transition of appetite focus.
I feel like it'll be in, like, not many, not many bites. Like, it's swiftly eaten, but it's not literally dumped in into a trash can.
Yeah, because the thing I was curious about, like, if he has better control of his appetite, but he's also in a bigger body, so is he eating more food or less food, or the same amount of food? Like, I wonder now.
This is a good question. Maybe. I mean, I am a higher rank, so perhaps a bit larger portions would be allotted, but like I don't feel as hungry like all the time.
Mm-hmm. So you'd probably be eating a little less than before. Okay. Like,
which is actually something, that trait, that quirk of Ralph's, I actually pulled that from the Munchlax Pokedex entry. So I thought, that seems like a cool character trait to have to deal with and, like, wrestle with, that, like, always at the back of your mind, like, you're always feeling.
Hey,
But,
you're the one that... Sorry.
Yeah, you're good, so.
Okay. Hey, you're the one that approached us. Don't sound disappointed when we end up just taking you back the way you came. Listen, as leader of an official pioneer team, I can't take you anywhere without permission from your guardian. That said, Burke says, glancing around, if you happen to fall into one of our bags on the way out, I can't say I have much control over it. But tell me this, what exactly are you offering us as a team member? What's your skill set? So at first, Noibat seems disappointed by the response, but they brighten up a little when they realize that Brooke is totally up for breaking those rules, just not explicitly. Well, I guess it's ironic, but I'm a pretty good scout. And I'm mostly nocturnal, usually. So I can stay up and keep watch at night when, everyone else would have to sleep. And I can use sound to drive away, Perils. Sometimes. They sort of fidget their little wing claws together. I know I'm not very strong or useful yet, but I want to be. I have to be. Well, we laugh as Florence reaches over and playfully teases at one of the ear spikes and wiggles the ear around, causing Noibat to squeak and flail at him. What say this? Even if this wee lad can't exactly contribute as much as he would like, let's just say I have an interest in this venture. Especially considering what you're doing here seems fascinating. Story-worthy, if you will. Besides, since you're heading over to Seaspray anyway, I'd just been there. It'll be neat to see what's happened in, say, 2 weeks since I've been gone.
Okay, I just got it.
He holds up a finger with a big grin. Sometimes the places we know change the most in the least amount of time. And if it hasn't, at least I'll be traveling with an interesting group. He says, very clearly not asking for permission.
Tucker kind of shrugs.
Well, the last time we were there, a lot of stuff happened in a very short amount of time. And hopefully this time, if that happens again, it's not something bad.
Protagonist syndrome.
What about protagonist syndrome?
Protagonist syndrome. You go places, things happen. You can't just have a quiet day.
It's fair.
Well, Tucker offers no resistance to Florence. He seems partial to the bard. It's not like Florence can be told to do something anyways.
The road to Sea Spray isn't incredibly known for its perils, and noise can attract just as many as it scares off, Burke says. But if Florence is going with us, I suppose going off the beaten path a little could be interesting. Well, at the very least, I can attest to this little one being helpful. After all, he's the one who accompanied me off to Sea Spray the first time. Got back there with nary a scratch. Yeah, well, I didn't exactly do a whole lot. Why, it was perfectly fine for travel. Well, then again, they sort of flex their fingers a little bit as they strum across their chest for flair. You're traveling with someone who's been around the bend plenty of times before.
Oh, I got disconnected.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Steam, I assume. Oh well.
That's fine. We are getting close to ending.
It's fine. Continue the scene. I'll get the tail back up.
Well, I was gonna type something. But I don't know
Oh.
what it was.
Were you in the middle typing?
Yeah.
Aw.
I've lost my train of thought now.
Aw.
I'm sorry.
Can never completely predict Steam. I guess that note card,
Yeah.
using Notepad is still a good idea.
Yeah.
I am looking. Oh, you're offline, Kyrio, entirely. Or are you? Yeah, you seem to be.
I mean, I can still talk.
Not being on Steam. But yeah,
Maybe
you can
my
still
Steam
talk.
server is down.
Yeah, I think it may have died for a few people. Oh well.
Oh.
You want to type something in Notepad and respond while I try to figure this out?
Okay.
Or you could just say it, or whatever you want to do. And for, yeah, enable sync. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, FYI to people watching Pokerole, sometimes Steam decides that Maintenance Wednesday means that they should destroy your table if you're playing Tabletop Simulator. It happens sometimes. Yeah, it's not just... some other people are having issues, so... It is probably just Steam.
Actually, yeah, I remember what it was, but I don't need to say it now.
Okay. Yeah, it's not letting me put the table back up, so let's continue the scene without it, I suppose, for now. If that is possible. I know as everybody seems to be winding down a bit here.
Yeah. I had hoped to get further along, unfortunately. But, that always seems to happen.
Well, I was mostly just waiting for other people to share their lines. I don't know if Tucker can add everything to everything.
Well, also, then it would be a very one-sided game.
Yeah.
I would rather wait for people. And also, we started later, but that was also partially my fault because food.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Let me try again to get the table up. Yeah, I've actually completely killed Steam. It's just Steam, so it's probably just the maintenance thing. It happens. It happens sometimes.
Darn it, Steam. In any case, if Kyrio, are you gonna share that thing, or is it?
No, I'll save it for later.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Later in the session or for another session?
I'm going to agree.
Okay. I was gonna say, if it's for this conversation, then I can wait.
No, I'll save it for when we're actually on the road.
Ah, okay. Much later then.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Specification. Let's see. I might be able to get things back up. Let's see. We lost the table save. Well, we didn't lose the table save, but we lost I made that one save a while ago, but I was trying to set up Swordle, but I'll just set him up again, I guess. But we didn't really do much this session, so it's not really a big deal, I think. So
It's mostly talky.
Yeah. No rolls this time, except for one.
2. The first one was bad.
Oh, 2. Alright, Steam, what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I was able to get things fired back up. I will get...
You sent
I
me
actually
an invite.
need to do a thing that I said I had to do earlier.
Oh, an AFK thing?
Yeah.
Or you gotta go for the night thing?
Probably. It's probably gonna take a little bit.
Okay. Then I guess this would be a good... I guess let's wrap up then.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
This is fine. It's 10. It's normal ending time.
Can you just delay a little bit longer for an outro?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
Okay. So tentatively, for this session, since we have not done much, I think there will not be XP this session.
Okay.
But that is not something I would normally do.
Okay.
More than likely, especially if someone reminds me, I will probably hand out 4 next session, because there will probably be a flurry of things that happen next session. Because it would, I'm going to streamline the process of the next week, as well as travel, because unless something were to truly happen, traveling would not take very much.
Yeah, we're much stronger and we're in a smaller group.
I mean, even in a slightly larger group, what with Florence and Noibat, the dangers.
Yeah, it's not the
Rustic
whole.
Canyon it's much like you guys waltzing through the Baked Plains. Unless you encounter old Ironsides, there's almost nothing that's going to be able to hold a candle to you right now.
Yeah.
You are squarely in the level of pioneers that can handle themselves.
Is this fair? Okay. Well, in that case, there will also be something, I guess I'll say, since things are kind of closing down, I will say that Tucker will probably need to talk to Brooke at the beginning of next session then.
Okay.
Which I'll try to remember since it's going to be a month later. But, yeah, Tucker's a bit down, and he'll probably want to talk to Brooke about it.
Understandable.
A note can be made, or if
I'll
necessary,
make a note.
if necessary, it can be a conversation that is done outside the game, and it can just be shared when we get to.
We could also do that.
Yeah.
I'll put a little note. But
But that is up to y'all.
we could. I'll talk to Kyrio about the possibility after he's done with whatever he has to do tonight, I suppose. But with that being said, I suppose Tubby, are you good? What's up with you? I see.
It's okay.
It's okay. I do think, Car, that yeah, I hope we can line up our fourth at some point. Get another voice in the conversation would be helpful. Tonight felt a little bit at moments black hole-ish. But it's okay. It's okay. I feel like there's stuff going on I don't know about or something. It's all good. I myself am trying my best, but I do admit, like I said earlier, your dangerous sick coughing that you're doing for Kamo is like a perfect representation of the coughing I'm actually doing now and then. So
That is something I took note of. I didn't say I didn't like bring it up in character, but like Ralph will have noticed that you don't sound too good.
I was wondering if Ralph
he
could
maybe
address it.
don't. Yeah, no, he wouldn't have addressed it then. Like, hey,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're tired. Like, no.
Even Ralph has some tact.
But he does think, it might be Hakamo that leads Brooke through the next evolution if it's too much longer.
If I recall, Kamo actually looks bad too, like scales rusting and stuff, right?
This was also something I wanted to look up in the library.
Yeah,
If we can help him.
I think we're all aware of his condition at this point, right?
Yeah.
Character-wise. Yeah,
Yeah.
if Brooke brings it up,
Ralph
Tucker
will have
would.
noted.
Yeah.
He don't look too good.
Yeah, because that is a concern. He always seems to be declining, especially if Ralph goes ahead and mentions, "Oh yeah, he's not feeling better." Like now that I just saw him again. Like I assume Ralph would make it clear he's not recovering, or at least that doesn't appear to be.
Yeah, if it came up like, oh, how'd it go? How's Kamo and Hakamo? He'd probably bring it up like, yeah, Hakamo or Kamo, it's like he doesn't look good.
And then you got Zeal too. Would also express some concern. Zeal's more observant than he looks.
He is, but Zeal hasn't said anything about it. Mostly because, at the very least, Zeal has been told that Kamo is recovering.
He probably believes in that.
Well, the other thing is, compared to the glimpse, which happened well prior to Ralph arriving, Kamo was in a much worse state.
Oh.
Compared to then, he is better. But is still a process, and he's still not in a great place.
At the very least, trying to figure out something that could help him recover is not a bad idea. Should I add that to the side quest list? Since it's on Brooke's mind? Okay.
Yeah. If you guys have, your own personal side quest that you want to remember, go ahead and add it to the list.
Alright, I've added it to the list. All right. With that being said, then I guess only Beerus has rejoined the table. He was able to get back in, so I guess Steam's back to normal. But obviously, no
Still
point right
says
now.
you're offline from me, so I'm like,
I think it's still broken for you then.
yeah.
How'd the Brit get in, of all people? All right. Well, British servers are just superior. That's why. But I suppose it's a good enough ending point. Does anybody have anything else they want to do or say before I close out?
I think I'm good. This was a good session. I liked it, and I liked it.
Yeah, I found it was pretty good.
Yeah, had some good moments in it. If serious, some of them. But all right. Well, I won't hold you guys any longer to your tasks and needs. But I'll talk to some of you guys post game. But I hope you guys, and as far as everybody watching and on YouTube, I hope you guys had a good session. And that was session 91. Session 92 will not be in 2 weeks. It will be in 4 weeks. So you can expect it. Let's see, what day would that be? You can expect it on October 12th, I guess? Yeah, it looks like it. October 12th. So you guys can look forward to that then. Kyrio will be going on a big vacation, international vacation, so wish him luck on that. But yeah, good night, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the session, and we'll see you in about a month for session 92.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone, and thank you for coming by.